This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, keeping you informed about the happenings in Annapolis and the area. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and of course, local weather. The Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Thursday, September 5th, 2019. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Yesterday afternoon, just before 2 p.m., the Anne Arundel County Fire Department started to receive numerous calls to their 911 center about a possible structure fire in the 100 block of Dorsey Drive. The initial reports were that it might have been a small brush fire, a shed fire, or a possible dwelling fire. When firefighters arrived on the scene, they located a small pile of debris near the rear of two homes, but amid the debris was a deceased adult victim. The cause of the fire is under investigation by both members of the Anne Arundel County Fire and Explosives Investigation Unit as well as the Anne Arundel County Police Department. It is being treated as a crime scene. The body was transported to the Office of the State Medical Examiner in Baltimore for an autopsy, and we will find out the manner of death as soon as that is complete. Now, this address has really caused some confusion among some readers. It was in the 100 block of Dorsey Drive, which most people think of as Parole. However, it is legitimately an Edgewater address. There is just a very weird anomaly with the way the maps have been laid out, and there is a small strip of land that goes up along Route 2 behind the businesses on Route 2 that is indeed Edgewater. That Mr. Car Wash right at the corner of 665 and Route 2, believe it or not, that is considered Edgewater. But the location was in what most people feel is Parole. Queen Anne's County business leaders and Queen Anne's County environmental leaders are not happy with Governor Larry Hogan. Well, more specifically, his choice of pushing a third Chesapeake Bay crossing over into Kent Island. Hogan stated his preference for a new span to be built next to the existing Bay Bridge, and that has really stoked some fears that the traffic will worsen, first responders will continue to be hampered, pollution will increase, and property values will tumble. Jay Falstead, who's the executive director for the Queen Anne's Conservation Association, said that when former Governor William Donald Schaefer's Reach the Beach program happened, it had the effect of essentially making residents on Kent Island prisoners in their houses on the weekends because there's just so much traffic coming through. Echoing that, Linda Friday, who's the president of the Queen Anne's County Chamber of Commerce, said that the congestion is very crippling. Businesses close early or they close on weekends because their staff can't get in or they're late. I don't know, it sounds a little bit over-dramatic to me. Something that's not over-dramatic is up to our neighbors in the north, Baltimore City and the Baltimore Convention Center. They have lost their second largest convention, which will be happening September 11th to the 14th for the last time. It's the Natural Products Expo East, which draws 28,000 people to Baltimore. For 4 days of seminar and food samples, it is moving up to Philadelphia in 2020. Hoping to fill that void, Visit Baltimore CEO Al Hutchinson said that they're looking to backfill its calendar with smaller events that are booked in a much shorter time frame, and they are going to concentrate on the city's major industries, which they've identified as medical, technology, and education. And in your latest data breach, an exposed server with more than 419 million records from Facebook users has been discovered online. This is according to reports in TechCrunch. The server was not protected with a password and was accessible to anyone. It featured 133 million records from US-based Facebook users, 18 million from the UK, and 50 million in Vietnam. The records contained each person's unique Facebook ID along with their phone number, which is listed on the account. Now, Facebook has restricted access to phone numbers for more than a year, so the database that was found is actually an older database, but it doesn't mean that the data is not valuable or not useful. So if you've just joined Facebook in the last year, you're probably okay. The database was originally found by a security researcher who said that he was able to locate phone numbers associated with several celebrities. It's not clear who actually owned the database nor where it originated from, but it was taken offline after TechCrunch contacted the web host. There is no word on why the data was scraped from Facebook or what it was used for. I'm going to guess it was Rachel from Card Member Services. Hey, and finally, go check out the Maryland Crabs podcast. We put up an episode yesterday that's really incredible. There's a young man in town named Jacob Landis who you may remember did Jacob's Ride, where he rode to all baseball parks in the country, all Major League Baseball parks, raising money for cochlear implants to help other people hear after losing their hearing. Jacob himself is a beneficiary of 2 cochlear implants, and this is the story about the foundation that he has established to give the gift of hearing to those that have lost it. He is just doing some some wonderful things. He's been able to provide 16 people with hearing. He has 12 on the waiting list, and if you could share his story, that would help. All right, that does it for the top news today. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day because we do update it throughout the day. Give a click on that first link in the show notes and find out all the different ways that you can connect with us. Give us a rating or a review anywhere you possibly can, and let your friends and family know about us. It is Thursday, so we have Trevor with your Annapolis Makerspace Maker Minutes, as well as George Young from DMV Weather, and he's here with your local weather forecast in just 1 minute.
September 28th, the second annual Twist and Stout Festival at Quiet Waters Park along the shores of the South River. Twist and Stout, a Maryland wine, craft beer, food, and arts festival presented by the Anne Arundel County Department of Recreation and Parks, along with the Maryland Wineries Association. Sample dozens of craft beers and Maryland wines. There's music all day starring the Groove Spot Band, along with the Naptown Brass Band and Vertigo Red. Watch the Plein Air Painters and shop dozens of artisans, crafters, and food trucks. Tickets are on sale now at twistandstout.org. That's TWISTANDSTOUT.org. September 28th, Twist and Stout at Quiet Waters Park, noon till 6. Tickets at twistandstout.org. Going out? You need the most up-to-date local weather. Here's George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis with today's forecast.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Thursday, September 5th. Yesterday was a hot one with temps getting into the mid-90s and heat index values near or at 100 degrees in spots. But today and tomorrow will be much nicer following the passage of a cold front last night, as highs will only be in the 70s each day with plenty of clouds and maybe some showers as well, especially southeast and east of Annapolis as Hurricane Dorian moves up the coast, passing the Delmarva beaches sometime Friday. Beyond that, the expectation is still for a very nice weekend for all of Anne Arundel County with plenty of sunshine and high temps each day in the 78 to 84 degree range. So let's continue to keep a close watch on Hurricane Dorian as it continues its trek up the coast, but definitely plan to get out and about this weekend after the storm has moved away to the northeast into the Atlantic. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DMV Weather. Make it a great day out there, and be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching for DCMDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Stores, and also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter, as well as on our website at dmvweather.com, so you can always stay weather informed.
Suicide prevention starts with everyday heroes like you. Join us Saturday, September 21st at the Navy Marine Corps Stadium in Annapolis as we walk to fight suicide. Be a part of the movement turning hope into action. Funds raised will benefit the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Register today at afsp.org/Annapolis. Together, we can help stop suicide. Go to afsp.org/Annapolis.
Every week, makers, crafters, and educators hold events all over the area. Highlighting some of those, here's our Maker's Minute, brought to you by Annapolis Makerspace.
Hey, this is Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace with this week's Maker Minutes. The Maryland State Fair just wound up, but the PG County Fair starts today, and the Anne Arundel County Fair starts next weekend. Check out all the great fair food, games, and rides, but also be sure to check out the agricultural exhibits, crafts, and other great stuff. On Saturday, Books for International Goodwill is having their big book sale. They're just off a Defense Highway past the vehicle emissions station, and their warehouse contains more than 70,000 books covering all categories. Books generally cost between $1 and $3, with children's books being even cheaper. Tuesday at Art Farm in Annapolis is Sketch Night, Beautiful Decay, a monthly gathering for anyone wanting to let loose for an evening of sketching and artistic community. Charles Lawrence of FinArt hosts this month with the theme of Beautiful Decay, nature drawing with skulls and bones, featuring still life from his collection. Over at Maryland Hall, their fall class registration is open for arts and dance classes, which begin next Monday. Maryland Hall has a wide variety of classes and so many subjects, it's really hard to keep track of them all. But some of the topics you might be interested in are ballet and dance, ceramics, traditional and digital drawing, film and media, glass fusing, mixed media, music, painting, photography, as well as wood turning. And that's just for the adults. They have programs for the kids along the same lines and more. Head on over to marylandhall.org and click on classes under the education menu for a full list. At the Anne Arundel County Public Library System this week, on Saturday at Discovery's Library at the Mall, is Cat Castle Catterday. Celebrate Happy Cat Month by building a cozy cardboard castle for your cat. On Monday at the Severna Park Library is their Minecraft Club. Experienced builders and first-time players are welcome for ages 8 and up. On Tuesday at the Odenton Library is Steam Tuesdays, where you can let your creative juices flow with a different STEAM activity each month. And finally on Wednesday in Crofton is their Nature Explorers Club. Our big world contains many small worlds. Get an up-close look at a piece of your planet by joining the Nature Explorers Club. Each month they investigate an aspect of the ecosystem through presentations, conversations, and hands-on activities for ages 7 through 11. And this week at Annapolis Makerspace, next Tuesday is our So monthly sewing and fiber arts meetup. If you have any interest in sewing, quilting, knitting, or anything like that, or just want to come by and work on stuff while socializing with others, that's a great night to do so. And as always, Wednesday is our woodworking open night, and Thursday is our electronics open night. And if you have any questions about the Annapolis Makerspace, the Maker Minutes, or any of these events, feel free to contact me at trevor@makeannapolis.org, or just drop me a line and let me know what we could be doing better. And as always, you can catch me tonight and every Thursday night at Annapolis Makerspace on Renard Court for Electronics Night, and you can find links to all of these events at the Annapolis Makerspace website at makeannapolis.org. And whether you're making art, software, sawdust, or just a mess, chances are you're already a maker. This has been Trevor from Annapolis Makerspace with this week's Maker Minutes.
Have you ever been to the Annapolis Mall when it opens for the day? Maybe you've noticed the line of folks waiting to get into the Apple Store. As you may know, I'm a Mac user, and today's episode of the Daily News Brief, in fact, all of the episodes of the Daily News Brief have been produced right here on my Mac computer. What you might not know about is Macmedics. They were founded here in Annapolis in 1989, and they are an Apple-authorized premium service provider, the only one in the Baltimore-Annapolis, D.C. area. And what that means to you is that they repair all Apple devices, including the iPhone screens and batteries, all without an appointment. And most repairs are done the same day, usually within 2 hours. They also sell everything except the iPhone and the watch for the same price as Apple. I don't know why you would go anywhere else. Give them a call at 410-757-MACS, or if you're not into the whole letter thing, 410-757-6227. Stop by their retail store in Severna Park on Benfield Road, or their service center in Lanham, right off of Route 50. Or you can always check them out online at macmedics.com. I'll tell you, they've saved me quite a few times, and I know they can save you.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., keeping you informed with the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. And take a moment to listen to our other podcast, The Maryland Crabs, released every Thursday at noon.